When did you realize someone in your life wasn't the person you thought they were? He was the hardest partying dude I knew. We'd known each other for years and been flirty for most of that. We'd make out when drunk, then go and pursue other people. I heard that he wanted more, but life got in the way for years, mostly in the form of a newfound partner who entered my life. At the time, I was relieved, as I didn't want anything more from him. Frankly, I never really took him seriously. Then I got dumped, out of nowhere. He made sure I was okay. He listened to me rant and paint the air blue, cussing out my now ex. He was so caring and concerned and unhorny, it shocked me. A few months passed and I got back on my feet. He approached me, drunk again, and asked me out. No flirting, he just properly asked me out. I still didn't want more from him, but I said yes because saying no would have crushed him. I figured the date would be a crash landing for him, a realization that the woman he'd been chasing, on and off, for 5 years, was just a basic bitch. We went on that date, and for the first time ever, we actually talked properly without alcohol impeding us and without trying to keep it light or be fun. I mean, beyond wanting to be fun in the context of our dinner date. That's when I found out about his past. I will spare you the gory details, but he survived a car crash that killed half his family when he was a child. It left him with mild brain damage that made him a bit dotty and made his dyslexia worse. He was told every day of his childhood that he was too stupid to amount to anything. A fact he bookended by mentioning that for 20 years, he worked dead-end jobs, ate like a pauper, dressed almost in rags, and drank nothing but bottom-shelf swill, all so he could save up to go to college. His first semester was due to start in a few weeks, but he was too embarrassed to talk about going to college at nearly 40. By the end of our date, I saw him in a different light. I saw a man who had turned the dismissiveness that an ignorant world, including me, had heaped on him into something beautiful. He refused to become bitter or hateful. I don't understand how or why. It's a miracle all on its own. I saw a man who wasn't stupid, but a man who had been let down by the education system and hadn't been able to enjoy the same benefits from academia that billions of people take for granted. I saw a man who, under the exterior of cheap booze and hand-rolled cigarettes, just wanted to prove himself to the world, despite staggering odds. By the end of our second date, which I acquiesced to the instant he proposed it, I knew I had found a good person. Again, he surprised me, this time with his creative mind. We invented identities for and role-played as aliens from the planet Gliese 6. Just a goof that we took as far as we could, and he kept up with me at every beat, something I wouldn't have thought him capable of in a million years, just a month prior. By the end of the third date, I realized he was the calmest, most considerate, most thoughtful person I'd ever met. I'd spent most of the previous 20 years looking after people, from partners to terminally ill family members, and for the first time in as long as I could remember, he made me feel safe and looked after. By the end of the fourth date, I had fallen in love with him, like a moon-eyed teenager. If someone could bottle the feeling I had when I fell asleep on his chest, his fingers in my hair, they'd make trillions. He made me feel invincible. We said those 3 little words on our 6th date. I said it first, I couldn't help myself. 2 months earlier, he was just the slightly weird guy who was at every party to me. At time of writing, we've been together for a year. He's on track for a GPA of 3.7, and I have never known love like it. I literally have no complaints. I am proud of him. I am proud to be with him, and I am excited to take on the future with him by my side.